The information provided by Trading Forex Price Action to you does not constitute personal financial advice. The information provided is of a general nature only and does not take into account your individual objectives, financial situation, or needs. It should not be used, relied upon, or treated as a substitute for specific professional advice.
Midweek Analysis.
Hey guys, this is a midweek analysis for June 2nd of 2021. Okay, we'll start off with the pound dollar. This is a monthly chart. We'll start off with an overview. So since there was a weak double bottom right here, and since weak double bottoms typically do not go as target height, in the long term, I am short biased right back down to this pivot low right here. However, since this weak double bottom still has a little bit of long strength in it, in the medium term, I was long biased right back up to this pivot high right here, and that pivot high was touched. Now at this point, since this medium term target was touched, in the short term, I am neutral biased. Okay, let's talk midweek price. Okay, this is the weekly chart. For an explanation of the basic setup I'm looking at, please refer to my last weekly forecast. Alright, so since the last short trade that formed on this weekly chart was right here, the basic setup I was looking at was for price to fall right back down and form another weekly long trade so I could gauge its strength against this prior weekly short trade. However, yesterday, the stop loss of this weekly short trade has been hit, right at this point right here. However, because I was expecting price to fall right back down to form another long trade before this stop loss level was hit, I was taking multiple short trades in this area for the past couple of weeks. Now let me go ahead and update the results for these intraday short trades I took right here, and also explain why price reached the stop loss level up here without making this next long trade. So let me go over to the daily chart. Okay, so on this daily chart, if you recall, roughly 2 weeks ago, I took two short trades roughly in this area. One was at 1.4170 in this area right here, and the other was at 1.4220 roughly in this area right here with the stop loss right here. Now, if you recall, I took out 90% of both positions roughly in this area right here because a fake double top formed right here on the 4-hour chart, which implies short-term long pressure. Now, the remaining 10% of these short positions were stopped out yesterday at this point right here. Now, moreover, last week I had another short trade at this 1.4175 level with again the same stop loss right at this pivot high right here. Now, this short trade stop loss was also hit right here yesterday, and so I took a minus 70 pip loss yesterday. Alright, so at this point, I have no more short positions on this pair. Now, upon re-examining why price hit this stop loss level yesterday, let me explain to you what I came up with. Okay, so let's go back to the weekly chart. Alright, so on this weekly chart, I was expecting price to fall right back down and make another long trade before reaching this last weekly short trade stop loss level. And I was also explaining the only reason that may not happen is if on the lower time frames, if we get strong compact long price action. Now, it's true that this compact long price action did not form in this area right here. However, if you recall, roughly 3 weeks ago, I took an intraday short trade in this area right here, and I was explaining that I aborted that short trade roughly in this area because compact long price action did form in this area. Alright, so let me take you back to the daily chart to explain this to you. Okay, so on this daily chart roughly 3 weeks ago, I explained I took an intraday short trade roughly in this area right here. However, I aborted that short trade roughly in this area, and that was due to compact long price action that formed right here. And that compact long price action was using this daily horizontal level as its higher time frames price element. Now, until yesterday, the way I approached this type of setup with my strategy was if there was lower time compact price action indicating strong strength, it can stop out the same time frame short trade stop loss level, which was right here. However, it will not stop out the higher time frame stop loss level, which is up here. So although I expected price to at least reach this pivot high right here, I did not expect price to reach this weekly short trade stop loss level right here. And so now I updated the rules for my strategy. Now the way I updated the strategy is quite simple. So let me get rid of this. Now although the way I perceived this type of setup was that if lower time compact price action forms, if it's using a daily price element, such as this horizontal level right here, it may stop out that daily short trade stop loss, but not a higher time frame stop loss level. However, due to this horizontal level being very strong and more importantly, very obviously respected, considering the lower compact price action forming exactly at this area, the update to my strategy is if the lower times compact price action uses a very obvious level as its higher time frames price element, moreover, if the price action is extremely clean on it, on the lower time frames, price has the ability to stop out higher time frame short trade stop loss levels, which is at this point right here. Now in this way, periodically, there are times when I do update my strategy. However, what I keep in mind is to always make the update as simple as possible. For if the update or strategy is simple, it will have the vulnerability to adjust to more market conditions. Okay, so let me take you back to the weekly chart. Okay, so like I explained on the overview, since the medium term target right at this pivot high has been touched at this point, in the short term, I am neutral bias on this pair. Okay, let's go on to the Euro USD. Okay, this is a monthly chart. We'll start off with an overview. So since this price action right here is very strong short and this move still having a ways to go, in the long term, I'm short biased right back down to this pivot low right here. However, because of a breakout of this trend line from this pivot to this pivot right here, at this point right here, in the medium term, I'm long biased right back up to this pivot high right here. However, on the weekly chart, since price still has a little bit of strength down more than long, in the short term, I'm short biased right back down to this pivot low right here. Okay, let's talk midweek price. Okay, this is a weekly chart. Again, for the basic setup I've been looking at for the past couple of months, please refer to my last weekly forecast. Alright, so basically since this short trade right here was stronger than this last long trade, I was looking for a short entry right back down to this pivot low as a target. And therefore, last week I was mentioning I took a short trade roughly at this 1.2250 level with the stop loss at this pivot high right here and its main target being right down here. Okay, so let me update you on this trade. So let's go over to the daily chart. Okay, so on this daily chart, if you recall, I was saying there was lower time price action at this level right here that was very close to being compact long price action, but didn't quite cut it. And the higher time frame price element that you used was this trend line from this pivot to this pivot right here. So let me go ahead and show you that 1 minute price action one more time. So let's go over to the 1 minute chart. Alright, so on this 1 minute chart, that compact long price action I was talking about was at this level right here. Now, as you can see, the width between each peak is extremely small. However, I was also mentioning that the consolidation in between each peak was slightly not enough. And so to me, just by a little, did not qualify as strong long price action, and thus I'm still in that short trade I was mentioning earlier. Now, in order to get a confirmation that this was in fact not compact long price action, there's one thing I'm looking for. So let me zoom out here. Okay, so that compact long price action is right here. Now, if I were to enter long based on this compact price action, the stop loss will be at its major pivot, which in this case could be right here at this level, or perhaps this pivot right here. Now, if price could come back to these levels down here, that would prove to me that this compact long price action was not legitimate. So that's one thing I'm looking for in terms of confirmation for that short entry. However, for the time being, price seems to be respecting that stop loss level rather cleanly. So at this point, since these stop loss levels at this area right here have not been hit, I will not be adding any further short positions to that short trade. But at the same time, since this compact long price action to me is slightly not legitimate, I'm still willing to keep that initial short trade from last week. Okay, so let me go ahead and explain one situation in which I may add another short position. So let's go over to the weekly chart. All right, so that compact price action I was talking about formed roughly in this area right here. Now, the only way that I will enter another short position, with the stop loss being right at this pivot high right here, is if price could come back and stop out those 1 minute stop loss levels I was talking about earlier, and then give a pullback. And if that happens, I will consider adding another short position to that short entry, with the stop loss right at this pivot high right here, and its main target being right down here. Alright, so that's it for the midweek analysis. I hope you guys have a great rest of the week, guys. And thanks for watching. Okay, bye.